Hey sneaker friends! Today is all about Pegasus. Pegasus Turbo versus Peg 35. Both of these shoes came out this year. The Peg 35 came out in May and the Peg Turbo came out end of July for Run Club members and early August for everybody else. Let's dive in and see what's different. If you recall, I've already done a video specifically on this shoe, so check it out for more details. The Peg 35, I ordered a women's 7.5 from Nike's website. It was $120. I do feel like the shoe fits true to size. I had no fit issues with the Peg 35 at all. Now, the Turbo, also bought it on Nike's website. I was early because I was part of the Run Club app, so I got it at the end of July. Now, this shoe was $180. Right there. The Peg Turbo is $60 more than the Peg 35. I ordered a women's 7.5 in this model, and I do feel like it fits true to size, with one exception. The toe box is short. If you need a lot of toe box room, this short shoe is going to be too short for you. One easy fix is replace the sock liner, which is over 5 millimeters thick, with a thinner sock liner. And obviously, as you wear them, the volume will get larger as the shoes wear in a little bit. So head to head right there, we said cost, $60 more. Fit, both true to size. However, you can see when I hold these up right here that the Peg 35 has a thicker toe box in the forefoot. So you have more forefoot volume in this shoe than you have in this shoe. Now, both uppers virtually have the same amount of stretch, which is little to none. They have very little stretch. So if you're thinking fly knit, this is not fly knit. These are cut and sew mesh-based uppers, and so they do not have a lot of stretch in the upper. Let's dive into outsoles. So you can see both of these outsoles. The Peg 35 has about 3 millimeter overall thickness of outsole, and the hardness is about 65 to 70. You can see it has pretty good coverage. Everywhere that is not the dark blue is recessed. Now, the Turbo, it also has a 3 millimeter average outsole thickness at a hardness of about 65. So it does feel a little bit softer. The huge caveat, the middle, the white area of this outsole is the React ground contact foam. So that will wear faster than the rubber. As you can see in this model, I have about 12 miles on the shoe and the midfoot is already starting to wear away. I know it's gonna wear, but I have a pair of Epic Reacts that have over 100 miles on them now, and I'm not worried at all. It does wear, it does look ugly, but it still performs great. An outsole comparison, the Peg 35 has a bit more durable outsole because it doesn't have this exposed React foam. However, they're really the same in thickness and hardness. I do expect the Peg 35 outsole to last longer. Let's talk about technology. The different technology in these two shoes is literally in the midsoles. So the Peg 35 has a full-length Zoom airbag in it. So you have Zoom airbag under your forefoot, midfoot, and heel. It's encapsulated in foam, pretty traditional Zoom feel underfoot. Nothing too fancy about it, but it is nice that it has full length in it. Now, in the Peg Turbo, which you'll notice is also called Zoom, it's a different kind of Zoom. It is not a Zoom airbag. Let me say that again. The Peg 35 has a Zoom airbag in it. The Turbo does not have a Zoom airbag in it. It has what's called Zoomx foam. So this green, this top layer of foam in the shoe is called Zoomx. Now, why Nike called it Zoom, I don't know. I think it's confusing because it makes you think of Zoom Air. I get the point that they use like the word Zoom because it goes fast, but isn't that kind of a Mazda thing? Anyways. So you do have the Zoomx foam as the top layer of foam in the Turbo, and the bottom layer is the React foam. Now, both brand new foams in 2018, both have good energy return, both are lighter weight than traditional foams, and both have a softer, squishy feel compared to traditional kind of midsoles. Now, when I say soft and squishy, it is not Boost level of soft and squishy. Boost is definitely softer and squishier than the React or even the Zoomx, I feel. So in terms of midsole, you have a lot more technology in the Turbo, hence the extra $60 that you're gonna pay for a pair of Turbos. Now, one thing I do wanna mention about these shoes, I've seen some comments online where people are seeing this foam, the Zoomx foam, delambing from the React foam foam. Now, delambing is when foam basically starts to split apart. I did, after wearing these a few times, I realized when I go to kick these shoes off, I literally take my other shoe and I push on this to pull it off, right? Well, I'm guessing that's why these shoes are delambing. So the splitting, basically pushing on the React foam to try and pull the shoe off of your foot, no question, can probably split the seam between these two foams. I think you should be careful about that and make sure when you take these shoes off, unlace them. Don't kick them off using this little heel area. Otherwise, I think the shoe will probably delam. It's a bad habit that even I have, and I do it all the time. Now, the upper in both shoe, they're both mesh-based uppers, they're both cut and sew uppers. As we mentioned before, the toe box is shorter on the Turbo, which tells me they used a different last than what they use in the Peg 35. Now, the last is the form or the shape that the shoe is built around, and it controls a lot of the fit characteristics. So the fact that they used a slightly different last in this Turbo is interesting to me. I'm not sure why they did it. I would love to know more about it. Overall, the uppers both have flywire. They both have the same amount of lace loops. They have the exact same shoelace. They both have a flat. As you can see, they both have a flat lace. The heels both turn out. They have literally exactly the same collar lining. They have the inside, it feels like the same lining material. Virtually the uppers are the same except for the toe box in the Turbo. I think both uppers feel comfortable. I had no issues, no blisters, no hot spots in either shoe. The Turbo upper might be a little bit more breathable than the Peg 35 just because it does have a lot more transparency to it and a lot more holes on the inside and outside. I could not tell when wearing both shoes. And how I test these a lot of times is I'll wear both shoes. I won't necessarily do a run on it, but I will do a walk and I'll do stairs. I'll do a whole bunch of different movements to kind of compare the two shoes. All right, let's talk sock liners. So this is the Turbo sock liner and this is Peg 35. They are absolutely identical, so you have the exact same sock liner in each shoe. Let's have a look at Strobles. Now, the Strobel in the Turbo is a non-woven with the holes cut into it and it's glued down. The Peg 35 is a foam. It's more like a pour-on foam. No holes, glued down, but providing you an extra level of cushioning. That takes me to underfoot feel. So in both of these shoes, you're going to have over 5 millimeters of basically a memory foam type sock liner. That's the first thing your foot's going to feel. Then in this shoe, you got a little bit of pour-on, followed by the foam and the Zoom full-length Zoom Air, and then virtually a same outsole as the Turbo. Now in the Turbo, you've got the sock liner. You've got a thinner Strobel. It's only about 2 millimeters thick, where the Strobel in this shoe is closer to 3 to 4. Then you have Zoomx foam, which is supposed to be 85% energy return on top of the React foam, on top of outsole. And in the midfoot, you don't actually have any outsole. So you're definitely walking on more materials in the Turbo, and it also is higher technology level in the Turbo. Now, from my experience for underfoot feel and wearing both models, for sure the Turbo feels softer, it feels squishier, it feels lighter than the Peg 35. The Peg 35, it has that Zoom and foam traditional feel. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It feels supportive. It definitely feels firmer and harder than the Turbo. For underfoot feel, they look the same, but the Turbo definitely wins when it comes to underfoot feel. It feels softer, it feels squishier, it just feels overall nicer ride underfoot. But really, like in terms of energy return, like did my feet hurt less in this shoe? Could I go longer? Could I go faster? I literally could not tell, and I'm not the caliber runner or walker to really tell that. To me, they feel very, very similar underfoot. This one feels softer and a little bit springier, but not necessarily enough to eliminate this as one of my go-to products. Now, let's talk about weight. So when I weighed the shoes, the Peg 35, the right weighed 222 grams, the left was 219 for a total of 441 grams. Now for the Turbo, the right's 190 and the left is 188 grams for a total of 378 grams. So in the Turbo, you're saving a total of 63 grams per pair over the Peg 35. So overall, Peg 35's $60 cheaper than the Turbo. So the Turbo is $60 more, $180 to $120. Outsoles, similar. The Peg 35 has more rubber, it's going to be more durable. The Turbo has the React foam, which we know has some durability issues to it. Midsole and new technology in the shoe, Zoom, foam, midsole, Zoomx, and React. So for me, definitely the Zoomx and React feels better, transitions better than the traditional Zoom and full-length Zoom. However, I can't really tell if this is making me perform better or not. I'm just not that caliber of runner. Uppers, both cut and sew, both virtually the exact same pattern. Now, the Turbo has a shorter toe box, which is probably due to the last, so they probably changed the last on the shoe, but that I would say is a negative for the Turbo, it having such a thinner toe box. Sock liners are the same, and the Turbo is going to give you a 63 gram weight savings. So if you don't mind paying $60 more, you're going to feel softer, lighter weight experience here than the traditional Peg 35 that came out this year. If you're a serious runner and you need the extra speed and lightweightness, the Peg Turbo is definitely going to be your shoe. If you really want durability and just consistency and you're concerned about the toe box, I would go with the Peg 35 at $120. All right, that pretty much covers it. The Turbo versus the Peg 35. What do you guys think? Have you tried these? Who's tried them both and picked one over the other, and why? All right, you guys have an awesome day. See ya.